welcome back to the Parkinson's Pedaling with Purpose video series. I'm Jim, and today we're going to go over falling. I think, once we decided to do this video series, we threw out the topics of what we would like to do, and for some reason, the idea of going through some falls seemed appealing at the time. Now that I actually have to do it, we'll see how it goes. I think when people are starting cycling, the one thing that they fear one of the most is that it's the fall. And in your head, it is a high speed event. But the reality is, or at least for my experience, the reality of falling is that it happens when you go really slow. So I have, of all the falls I've had, 90% of them have been in my driveway or when I'm coming to a stop sign. There's a moment in every fall that it's called the oh crap moment. All right, and that is the moment you realize that you're going over. And at any given time, you'll know what that feels like once you get into a fall. Okay, so I'm coming and I'm slowing down, and I realize now that I'm going over. All right. So, when you get here, there are a bunch of different things that are happening all at once. Hopefully, and I'll do a couple more that you can see. The first thing that I did was started to reach out, but then realized that you can't do that, right? Because you don't want your hand to be the first thing that touches the ground. So bring it in, all right, and roll your shoulder just a little bit. So the brunt of the impact happens here and on your hip, and probably a little bit on the outside of your knee. Falling safely doesn't mean coming out unscathed. All right, now you can lessen the impact if you wear gloves, all right, and some cycling shorts. But the odds are on a given fall, you might actually scrape up your elbow or your knee. So take a look at yourself and just decide, all right, do you have anything that needs any sort of medical attention? Your first inclination is probably going to be thinking that you're embarrassed, right? Or that cycling sucks because you just fell. And if you combine that with Parkinson's, for me anyway, all right, when I get that negative feeling that I get when I come from a fall, so I start talking to myself and saying that I'm not very smart, or I'm not very skilled, or I come from questionable lineage. All of those things come into play, and sometimes that makes my Parkinson's symptoms come into play. Don't get right back on the bike. Take a minute, do some deep breaths, all right? If someone is going by, they're going to come over and say, hey, are you okay? Holy crap, you just fell. And you're going to be able to look at them and go, hey, you know what? I am okay. I just need a second, and I will get back up and get going. But take that second, right, before you do that. I'm going to go back, do another fall, and this time I'll focus on what you look for on the bike. Okay, so I'm coming in again, and again slowing down, right, and my feet are not coming out, and I'm trying to hold it onto it, but nope. All right, I'm going down. So, again, it's the temptation to reach out, which you avoid. Bring it in. Here's the shoulder. So I'm taking my moment or two to not question my lineage, all right, to realize that I'm not stupid, that I do like cycling, all right, that I'm skilled at it. It's just that I fell. So I've got that. Someone's coming by, and they'll say, hey, are you okay? I'm gonna say, yeah, you know what, I just need a second. Now, it's the bike's turn, all right? Because if you don't take a look at your bike after you fall down, then you could be in for another quick fall, because my chain has come off, all right? And if you don't notice that your chain is off, you're going to get back on your bike, and your pedals are going to spin round and round and round, and you're not going to go anywhere, and you're going to fall over again. All right, so take a look at your bike. The first thing is the chain. It'll take a second to put back on, but it's doable. And there we go. Again, you know, if we're talking about how much time that took, all right, we're talking about less than a minute to make sure that you've got your chain back on. And then you're going to take a look at your handlebars, all right, to make sure that they're still aligned, okay? You're going to take a look at the brakes, all right, to make sure that they aren't pinched in, all right? One of the other good things about wearing gloves, right, is that your hands are going to get a little bit dirty, but you've got something that you can wipe them off on, okay? That also is good if you're cycling with a buddy, all right, because they're going to come over and say, hey, are you okay? And then you can wipe the grease off on them. It is the oh crap moment. You're going over, all right? Resist the impulse to reach the hand out, bring it in, all right, and cradle the fall on whatever side it is. When you get back up, take a couple of minutes. All right, go over your self checklist and realize that Parkinson's is going to have an impact on it. All right, take the couple of minutes, let your symptoms go recede a little bit before you get back on the bike. Then take a look at the bike. All of those things will make sure that, yeah, you know what, when you fall, it's not awesome, but it's something that happens, and it is something that everyone can get over so that you can get back on your bike and start to still keep receiving the benefits of cycling. There are a couple more scenarios where falling could come into play, and I thought you should be aware of them. So that could be, for example, when you're on a bike path and then decide you need to turn around quickly. And don't stop and turn your bike around. You just do a U-turn, and normally that will put you on the grass. So sometimes when you're slowing down and doing a hard turn and you go from one surface to the other, like a bike path to grass, that can lead to a fall. The advice would be to stop and make sure your feet are down and then turn your bike around. Otherwise, it could end up in you touching down. A second one would be trying to stop too fast, and there's something like sand or stones, small stones on your path or on the road or on the bike path. So that you know, when you were a kid and you were on your bike and you know, you hit the brakes really hard and swung your back tire around and it made the great sound and you thought it was great. That's good when you were a kid. You know, when you're not, sometimes that can lead to as well the back tire spinning around and you deciding to you not deciding, you going down. And so again, those are just two instances I thought, hey, you know what? I had better address those in the video. So again, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it useful. Remember, as strange as it might seem initially, the majority of falls do happen when you're slowing down. All right, and so be as prepared as you can be. And know that, yeah, you know what, it's going to sting a little bit, but it happens, and it is just part of the process, and you can get through it. Just keep on going. All right, thanks. No, I think this following video is going to be okay. As long as you have the right equipment on, everything's fine. No problem.